Live from New York, you're watching News Always On. I'm Kessyl. Trump says he's ready to put tariffs on all $505 billion of Chinese goods imported to the United States. The latest warning ramps up the US-China trade war to another level. Though each country has issued just $34 billion in tariffs so far, speaking on CNBC, he said China is making too much money off the United States. He said, quote, "I don't like it and I haven't liked it for many years. I'm not doing this for politics. I'm doing this to the right thing for our country." Trump said the U.S. is being taken advantage of on a number of fronts, including trade and monetary policy. Yet, he said he has not pushed the tariffs out of any ill will toward China. He said he really likes President Xi a lot, but it was very unfair. According to CNBC, by sheer dollar volume, the Chinese won't be able to come close to the U.S. in a tit-for-tat battle. Trump's comments point to a willingness to push the envelope as far as the U.S. needs to get the Chinese tariff concessions, along with a pledge to stop allegedly stealing American technology. Here is more on President Trump's interview with CNBC, where he also talked about the Federal Reserve. Let's listen in.
I put a very good man in the Fed. I don't necessarily agree with it because he's raising interest rates. I'm not saying that I agree with it, and I don't necessarily agree with it. I must tell you, I don't. I'm not thrilled because, you know, we go up, and every time you go up, they want to raise rates again, and I don't really, I am not happy about it, but at the same time, I'm letting them do what they feel is best. But I don't like all of this work that goes into doing what we're doing. You look at the euro, you look at what's going on with the EU, and they're not doing what we're doing, and we already have somewhat of a disadvantage, although I'm turning that into an advantage. You know, last year and for years, we've been losing $150 billion with the EU nations, with the European Union. And they're making money easy, and their currency is falling. And China, their currency is dropping like a rock, and our currency is going up. And I have to tell you, it puts us at a disadvantage. Now, I'm just saying the same thing that I would have said as a private citizen. So somebody would say, oh, maybe you shouldn't say that as a president. I couldn't care less what they say, because my views haven't changed. I don't like all of this work that we're putting into the economy, and then I see rates going up. I see China where I mean, look at what's happening with their currency. It's dropping like a rock.
At least 13 people are dead after a tourist boat capsized and sank during a severe storm in a lake in southern Missouri on Thursday. The boat was carrying 31 passengers. The Ride the Ducks boat sank on the Table Rock Lake near the resort of Branson, with multiple people still reported missing. Divers have worked through the night on rescue operations, with rescue and recovery efforts still ongoing. The capsize occurred during a storm that produced gusts of 60 to 80 miles per hour. In a press conference on Friday, Stone County Sheriff Doug Rader said that the captain of the boat survived, but the driver has passed, and the boat is now located on the bottom of the lake. At least 40 people have survived the sinking, with 7 being hospitalized, 2 of whom are in critical condition.
So I was in the showboat, and I didn't see them fall over, but we all knew that one of them rolled or whatever it may be. Yeah, I saw 2 people would be way off in the distance, so we were at the front of the boat, and they were way off in the distance. I believe they may be actual workers that jumped in after others trying to save them, so I believe that's what it was.
We have 8 confirmed fatalities. TCAD has transported 7 patients to the hospital, and we do have some people still missing. So this is going to be a all-night into tomorrow. We're still going to be working on this. Highway Patrol dive team is on their way here. Western Taney County has their dive team in the water right now. I believe it was caused by the weather, yes.
Okay. Was the boat doing anything out of the ordinary to your knowledge that would make you more vulnerable to sudden wind?
Not that I know of. That is correct. It capsized and sank. There was actually a Stone County Sheriff's deputy on the boat. He was in the water rescuing people. There was also some of the staff from Branson Bell, I believe, and trying to help the rescue.
The Branson Tour Company posted on its website that it is closed for business while they support the investigation. The company said, quote, "Words cannot convey how profoundly our hearts are breaking. We will continue to do all we can to assist the families who are involved and the authorities as they continue with the search and rescue." According to NPR, in 2010, a Ride the Ducks amphibious vehicle was involved in a deadly water accident in Philadelphia. Later, a National Transportation Safety Board investigation found that a tugboat driver was distracted by using a cell phone and laptop at the same time, which caused the crash, but that the Rock the Ducks staff contributed to the accident by failing to check equipment and stopping in a navigation channel without taking appropriate safety measures. Then in 2016, the company stopped operating in Philadelphia, citing rising insurance premiums. Our next story for this newscast is Russian national Maria Butina is accused of working as a spy by infiltrating American political organizations, including the NRA, which is the National Rifle Association. On Wednesday, a federal magistrate ordered Butina, and she's held without a bond with a pending trial where she will face 2 felony charges. Here is more. The 29-year-old Russian has many roles: a grad student, gun rights activist, and an alleged Russian agent. She is accused of acting as a foreign agent in the United States and allegedly using sex and deception to build her network of influential international connections. According to a CNN report, here is a story. Butina came to the United States on a student visa known as the F1 in August of 2016. She was a graduate student at American University in Washington, where she lived, but prosecutors alleged school was a cover. Court documents say before her arrival, she was a special assistant to a high-level unnamed Russian government official, who at one point worked for the Russian Central Bank. While in the United States, she allegedly worked at the direction of this official. Butina's love of guns did not start in the US, as seductive photos of her with weapons was revealed. As a founder of a Russian gun rights organization, she posed in leather while brandishing guns for a Russian GQ magazine spread. When she moved to the US, her background seemed to come in handy as she attended National Rifle Association events, allegedly in an attempt to strike up influential friendships. But prosecutors say she spent years trying to set up back-channel communications between Russia and the Republican Party through the NRA, as well as between Russia and the Trump campaign. Court filings show her ultimate goal was to make American leadership more sympathetic to Russian interests. To people who knew her, they described Butina as smart, aggressive, and attractive. She had qualities that helped her expand her network of American contacts. Even Russian politician Alexander Torshin praised her public image and success in infiltrating high-profile American groups. In the year of 2015, she attended an event where Butina introduced herself as from Russia and asked then-candidate Trump what his foreign policy would be with Moscow if he was elected. She also asked whether Trump would maintain sanctions against Russia, with which Trump responded, quote, "I know Putin, and I'll tell you what, we get along with Putin. He has no respect for President Obama. Big problem." Butina was also in a romantic relationship with Paul Erickson. Prosecutors said in court this week the man she was involved with was under investigation over fraud allegations. Erickson was not named in court, but details in court papers matched activities of Paul Erickson. Prosecutors said her relationship with the 56-year-old American was, quote, simply a necessary aspect of her activities. At one point, she offered sex to another person in exchange for a position within a special interest organization. Last week, investigators suspected Butina was planning to move money outside the US as her apartment lease in Washington was ending on July 31st, and she was packing boxes. She was then arrested Sunday and pleaded not guilty to criminal charges Wednesday in federal court in Washington. Butina is being held without bond after a judge agreed with prosecutors that she was a flight risk. If found guilty, she could face up to 15 years in prison. Following Wednesday's hearing, defense attorney Robert Driscoll told reporters Butina was not an agent of Russia and was innocent. The head of Paramount Pictures TV division, Amy Powell, has been fired for allegedly making an inappropriate statement that drew complaints from employees. CEO Jim Giannopoulos said that she made comments that were inconsistent with the company values, but he did not elaborate on what Powell said. He said the company investigated and decided to terminate her employment. Giannopoulos said in the memo sent to employees saying, quote, "While it is incredibly difficult to part ways with a valued member of our community, it is imperative that we uphold our values and ensure that all employees feel safe and included in the workplace." Powell denied the report, saying, quote, "There's no truth to the allegation that I made insensitive comments in a professional setting or in any setting. The facts will come out and I'll be vindicated." According to sources, the comments included racially charged language, and it occurred during a studio notes call for Paramount Network's First Wives Club reboot, which is being penned by Ghost script co-writer Tracy Oliver and will feature a predominantly black cast. After spending 2 years leading the studio's digital arm, Powell oversees Paramount Television in year 2013. She has been the only president of the TV studio since, delivering hits including Netflix's 13 Reasons Why. Since being promoted to run Paramount TV, Powell has been charged with monetizing the studio's roster of internet protocol and book titles. She was the one who successfully drew George Clooney back to the small screen for Hulu's Catch 22nd miniseries. He was poised to star, but opted to take on a supporting turn to focus more on directing and producing the series. More recently, she garnered Emmy nominations for the limited series The Alienist. She also delivered the studio's first Emmy nomination for Fox's Grease Life. That's all the time we have for now. For News Always On, I'm Kessyl, and I'll see you at 4 in the afternoon.